My wife, she's from the UK, but she's Welsh. She grew up like they're like the original peoples of the UK, right? And so she's like, when I first came to America, she goes, the idea of white was so interesting to me. She goes, what is it? I still don't get it. And I'm all like, I had to do my own research on all this stuff because I think in America, the idea of white is white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, right? If you're Catholic, you weren't considered white. That's why JFK is considered the first minority president because he was an Irish Catholic.
Huh. I didn't know that.
That's mind-blowing to us, right?
Yeah.
Because in the West Coast, if you have white skin, you're white.
Yeah.
Right? But then if you think about just back in the day when America started, if you weren't Protestant, you weren't really white. They used to, when they hung black peoples and that were criminals or whatever, they used to hung Irish people right next to them. Irish people, Irish, Italian, Jewish were not considered white until very recently.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, the idea of whiteness in America has continuously changed. And I have a theory. I thought of this like a hypothesis. I thought of this about 7 or 8 years ago when I came upon this. I was like, this is going to change into class and it's going to change to skin. So like if you're light skin, dark skin, and it's happening now.
Yeah.
There's colorism, right? They're like, oh, you're white adjacent, you're East Asian, you're a privileged class. And I was like, never would I thought that one day Asian Americans will be considered white, but we're on that track. And for me, it's just interesting how that definition morphs. And I think it's because everybody here has to have a sense of birthright of like, I belong in this group. I'm this. It's like, why can't you just be a fucking American, bro?
Or human.
But like, a human, yeah. But like, yeah, you get pushed into these different categories. And another thing she told me is that in Europe and UK, they're not very race obsessed. And I think it's because they all know where they're from.
Yeah.
So they don't sit there and think about who they are, if I'm more legitimately here than you, all this stuff. And she goes, America is so race obsessed and our politics are so tied to race that she's like, it's like more class driven out there in the UK, not race driven. They got a Indian prime minister, all that would be a huge thing here. It's like our first black president, but he's half white. You know what I mean? Like he's not full black. What happened to the other white part? But I think that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, I didn't realize how race obsessed we were as a nation and how segregated we were until as of late.
Definitely. Yeah. And that makes so much sense with the American colonization of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because we're race obsessed.
Yeah.
We're like, what are we?
You're Haole or
Hawaiian, Filipino, Japanese. And it's like, if you're not one thing,
yeah,
what am I? What do I gravitate towards?
That's what I like about Hawaii culture, though. On the flip side is that people are so like mixed that it's not about the old world. It's about Hawaii culture.
Yeah.
You're all like, that's what I saw the future of Asian America is like, if they keep dating Asians or marrying into Asian other groups, right? Like it's going to be like Hawaii where the group is now going to create their own identity. Yeah. And it's going to just keep changing like that.
We might just need to come up with a new race, you know? Because in hundreds of years, thousands of years
it's
from now,
going to keep changing.
There's not going to be a thing like Hawaiian enough, Hawaiian blood. It's just going to be like, I don't know, Hawaiian.
Japanese Koreans are going to be gone in like 30 years.
Yeah.
They're not breeding.
Yeah.
So like,
I know. It's funny, this thing that we put so much energy and thought into, it's not even going to matter.
Nah.
In a couple hundred years.